Tuongee.
You know, hata kama kuna earthquake, kuna kitu kinaitwa epicenter.
Epicenter.
Sasa, the MM Center has become an epicenter for a lot of the earthquake that is beginning to be felt within the country.
Okay.
So this is the epicenter.
All right. So there's a lot of plannings that are going around here.
And epicenter largely for opposition politics now, and sooner or later, it's going to be the epicenter for national politics.
So you've already just lifted up the lead,
Yes.
And said that, you know what, I'm planning to go for the big seat.
Yes, yes, that is it.
Okay.
Our constitution is very clear that a president can serve for a maximum of 2 terms.
All right.
Of 5 years.
All right.
Our good President Uhuru Kenyatta has done his first 5 years. He's doing his second 5 years. And listening to him recently, he said that he's a strong believer in the Constitution and he wants to follow the path of President Moi and President Kibaki.
Yes.
So clearly, 2022
it's open.
Is a transition moment.
All right.
And I'm part of the people
but
who are going to be there to shape this transition.
Of course, this is the first time you've said you're going for it, or you've actually run when you became number 3. But in most time, you've always just supported someone. When you are waiting for Musalia now to take the horn, even when you created up NASA, everybody knew that this was the moment. You still took the back seat again and left Raila go for it. Why are you always seated at the back?
No, I'm not seated at the back. I mean, you see, we have to have an open mind, and I've always had an open mind. And it's true I have contested once.
Yes.
That was 2013. I've not contested before. So 2022 is going to be a different time because I've made it very clear that I intend to be on the ballot paper and to win. I think people should look at my approach differently.
Okay.
I am also a team player. If it was Raila's moment and I came out to support Raila, I think Kenyans should look at it differently. I gave him support. It shows that I was not selfish. I pushed the NASA agenda and we all shelved our presidential ambitions and we said, let us give the opportunity to Raila Amolo Odinga. In 2002, I pulled aside and we gave the opportunity. I supported Uhuru Kenyatta. In 2002. He didn't win. But how can I be vilified for having shown that I can support somebody else? You cannot be vilified for showing that you can support Raila or you can support Uhuru on a different occasion. But now, so if I say they should reciprocate,
yes,
and maybe also show that they can support me, there's nothing wrong with it.
Let's talk about, say, 2002, sir, when the whole country was almost leaning towards one side. When the Rainbow Coalition came up, and that is the time you were the deputy president, and everybody thought that you left when everybody thought that this was the next transition, and you were supposed to support what everybody thought about at that time.
You see, let me put it this way: the transition in 2002, we were in Kanu.
Yes.
All right. I was in Kanu. I never left Kanu at that time. So I may have disagreed with the way in which Kanu conducted itself, not allowing for a free and fair process of nominating its candidate. But be that as it may, when the president of the day said that Uhuru Kenyatta was the candidate, as a Kanu member at that time, I gave the support. That is how it is. Now that is behind us. Now we are looking forward. And forward is now 2020. And in the NASA coalition, when I formed I was the driving force behind the formation of NASA. After we formed it, we all sat, we looked at issues, and the presidential candidate became Raila. So all this was a matter to show that you sometimes work as a team, you make those decisions, and then you move on. We made those decisions then. All right? And let me just say this. When you're making these decisions, even if you say people have voted in this particular manner or voted that way, it does not necessarily mean that because the majority have voted that way, it is necessarily the position that is actually the best. That is why there's the famous thing that let the majority have their way, but let the minority have their say. A very simple communication. And it sometimes turns out that the position of the minority at a particular moment in time may have been the better decision in the longer term.
That's very deep, but then this notion that you are a spoiler. The other time when you were running and you knew very well, when you were number 3, and it was very clear that almost there was 2 horse race, and even it later came out. Why couldn't you support one person and you decided to run?
Look, my friend, is there somebody who is complaining about 2013?
No.
Are we in 2013 or are we in 2022?
Okay.
So what is this notion about revisiting 2013? Who is the president today?
Uhuru Kenyatta.
In 2013, who was the president?
Was it?
Who won the presidency in 2013?
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Uhuru Kenyatta won in 2013.
Yes.
And he has won again in 2017.
Yes.
So what are we revisiting when we keep on going back there?
So that's
if somebody keeps on arguing that if Musalia contests, he is a spoiler for who? Can you name the person I spoiled?
That time, if you are teamed up with Raila like everybody wanted, or people thought that you would team up with the whole team because they had a very big vote.
Are you forgetting I teamed up with him in 2007?
Yes, of course, the Pentagon.
Yeah, so was I a spoiler?
Or I would say that...
yeah, and when I created NASA,
yes,
and we gave him the ticket,
yes,
was I a spoiler?
Okay, why would you?
So
why would you give the ticket?
You see, the message here is this.
All right.
Let us stop creating the impression that there are some politicians who have a sense of entitlement and it is their way or no other way.
Okay.
So that you keep on giving the impression that if it is you're not supporting that person, you're a spoiler. Bwana, tuachane na hiyo siasa.
Sasa ni wakati wa Musalia Mudavadi sasa.
We must allow democracy to thrive. As a nation, let us move away from the politics of hero worshipping.
All right.
This has been our problem in this country. We tend to imagine that certain people are God-sent. My friend, we're all God's creatures. We all have a right. As long as you're not breaching the Constitution, let us forget this business of imagining that it is only so and so who can be there. You tell me, is Kenya a monarchy?
No.
So what dynasties are we talking about? People are trying to create a division to make politics look simple. Rather than go for issues, you want to create a division in society where you are saying these are wealthy people, these are poor people, and that is the only ideology you want to sell, if it is an ideology at all. It is bad politics. We should be debating in this country about how much investment are we putting into healthcare vis-a-vis agriculture, and why? How much are we putting into infrastructure, and why? If we say we have provided electricity to 7 million homes, and then on this other side, you say water, and these are statistics you can go and look for. Water, only 2 million homes have been connected to water directly. Let's look at COVID. One of the most essential things to fight COVID is water, and soap. Instead of focusing there, you want to focus on Musalia's lineage? You want to focus on Jalango's lineage? Come on, Kenyans need a break.
If you look back, Mheshimiwa, you've held some of the top positions in the country, Minister for Finance, and even higher to the Vice President. If a Kenya was looking at you, what kind of leader should they see in Honorable Musalia Mudavadi?
They should look at me as somebody who is committed to the welfare of this nation, somebody who wants to create jobs in this country. I would like to see a country where Jalango, Wanjiko, Kamau, Opot, Lokopoit, you name them, where they can sit and be in their own home and be able to provide food on the table without begging or looking for a handout.